Hi. So, welcome to the Earth Dreaming blog. I was just wondering how you all got on with the first meditation. Um, what I really wanted to do was just pop on and explain a bit more about medicine walks, or those sort of shorter vision quests. Um, so ideally, you already have some intention set before you go out for your walk. Okay, so maybe you just intend to receive messages, or maybe you have some sort of deeper meaning or purpose for the information that you'd like to receive. Um, so, for example, this morning, I'm putting together a few packages. Um, and so I had that intention when I went out for my walk, and it was a really curious morning. Okay, so it's August here. It's summer. We had a beautiful, still hot summer's day, which is quite unusual for the north of Scotland, and that was yesterday. And yet, when I went down to my sort of regular dog walk down by the shore, it was clear that there'd been a north wind coming in, just the way that there's all, and it'd been quite stormy. I didn't hear any storms overnight. So sometimes the storms can be further out at sea, but they, it affects the undercurrent. Okay. So there's this sort of this sense of this underlying energy, but there's something really stormy happening beneath the surface, shall we say. And it's a north wind. And I'm sure I've seen so many people use the expression, finding your true north lately. So, and in the medicine wheel that I practice with, north is the place of air. So it's also the place of clarity and wisdom. It's our place of our ancestors. So, finding our north is very much about integrating everything that we've learned and really getting that clarity. And part of that clarity is about letting go things that no longer serve us, whether they're belief systems or something more physical, relationships, or, whatever that might be. So we really get that clarity. And, with the extra layer of the ancestors being there, very often we have these ancestral beliefs or ancestral traumas that sort of filter through, and because they might not be in our lifetime, we're not necessarily always aware. I mean, the amount of times, I'm in my mid-50s, right? Even now, there's things, for example, in this lifetime where I've just assumed stuff my parents told me as a child were true, and I'm finding out they weren't true. And they're very simple things. Not that my parents lied to me about them, but there were things that I accepted as truths, which aren't at all. So that's been really, really curious for me. So very often it is about letting go of those belief systems. They can be as simple as that. So that there's that clarity and you're coming closer towards your own inner wisdom. So this sense of this, it's almost like there was a change in the direction, right, of the wind. And as I was walking along the shore, now the shore represents the liminal space. Okay, so you've got especially the bit that's, where the tide comes in and then goes out. So there's that bit where it comes over the sand or the rocks or whatever's there, and there's that bit between land and the sea. And there were lion's mane jellyfish washed up. Now they're really unusual here. You get one or two, but there was a lot, and there were big ones. And I counted 14. Now 14 in the numerology that I work with or have worked with. So we would say it's 14-5. So 14.5, there's something very pioneering about it, but because it's a 14, it's also multidimensional. And then that brings in this extra layer of, they were lion's mane. I'm sure many of you are aware we're coming up to the Lionsgate portal in a few days. So there's all these extra layers of that story. For me, it's confirmation of what it is I'm going to be launching, to sort of go ahead and launch it. But there's also a bigger story going on there within the collective. So I felt this was a really great example for me to come on here and share that with you. I often find, jellyfish, and I think the thing about a medicine walk is it's the significance, and are you drawn to this information? Yeah. You might find things that are nice things to find, and they're pretty, or they're curious, or whatever, but there's the sense of that pulling, and that there's a knowing, and that it's a message. And it can work in many different ways. For me, because I take the same walk nearly every day, something new always comes up along that path. But what might happen is you could be going out for a walk with no particular direction. That's also a good thing to do. And just allow yourself to be drawn. You might be walking along and you see a cat down one path, and you might think, what's that cat? Ask the cat, are you wanting me to go there, or are you wanting me not to? And see what the answer is. Sort of tune into this. I have some woods nearby, so I do that kind of walk there, where I end up going through the woods. Sometimes it takes me through all the old windblow wood, and just be careful with that. I'm used to working around windblow and that sort of forestry work, so I wouldn't recommend it to anybody who isn't familiar with that. Okay, but I was taken through this, and part of my lesson at that time was, the path, when you look at it from a distance, might seem to be blocked, there's no way through, but actually once you get there, you find your way through. So just allow yourself to be drawn, and and pick up those messages, and see what happens. You don't need to work out what the answer is straight away, but you just get a feeling. Maybe you want to do some research. Maybe when you come back, you want to sit and meditate and just sort of journal and play with the insights that you've had. So I'm going to try and publish the meditation on the third Monday of each month, which means the week before is when hopefully we'll go out as a collective or as a group, and go out with and gather that kind of information. So that your intention then would be to gather information for a meditation that's beneficial for us as a group. And not just us as a group, but anybody else who'll be coming into the group that will benefit from that meditation as well. And also that will benefit the greater good as well, of what we're unfolding and what we're working on in the world. I hope that has brought some clarity. I tend to illustrate things through personal example and story, rather than a really linear way of directions, but I will include that in the write-up as well. Sending you lots of love, and I'll also put dates, more sort of concrete dates, or suggested dates for when to go out for the medicine walk. All right, sending you lots of love.